listening to somebody new, talking about singing and playing for you. Won't you cuddle up with me under these cold covers? Music for your brain.
Damn, son! It's like it actually wasn't even my money.
It's his now.
I got you.
He's the closest to it.
Ow!
Money man.
All right.
Build mode me.
So we are here with Left to Suffer.
I'm here.
Yeah!
Long time coming. We had
Hell
this
yeah.
scheduled how many weeks ago? 3?
Forever.
4?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
And then I kind of screwed that up.
Yeah, with your
Catching the
sickness.
COVID.
Yeah.
But we're all good.
Glad you're okay, though.
Straight up,
Right?
Yeah, it was sketchy there for a second, actually. But
Yeah.
we're good, you know. Young, healthy
You look
child.
great now.
Yeah, we're good, man. I can breathe.
Honestly, you're
We're all
looking
good.
beautiful.
And now,
Kind of attracted to
Going
you.
back to normal, too.
Was it the COVID hair that I haven't cut?
It is. That's exactly what it is, yeah.
The fro keeps
It's the fro.
growing, man.
Yeah.
It's taking over.
Straight up.
All right, so I first met you guys, we just talked about it like 2 years ago, probably to the day,
Yep, in the
at
storage
that
unit.
storage unit in Duluth.
Yep,
where
we
you guys
used,
practiced.
we used to practice there when we were the old band before Left to Suffer. Mm-hmm. The good times.
That band's
The
lost.
good times.
Yeah, that band's
That band is
lost.
definitely lost.
Straight up.
Yeah, a lot has changed for y'all since then, like a ton. It's like, honestly,
Honestly,
the dream.
mind-boggling. It's crazy.
All these local bands are trying to do what you guys have been doing this past year, especially. Really?
It's just been, we've been just trying our best, and we have a really cool team behind us full of people that are just push us every day, which is a big reason for our success. We definitely couldn't do it alone.
And we have big to-do lists. Like
Yeah, we have, we set huge goals, and, even if we don't reach them all the way, which it's just been pretty crazy how hard we've been working to get to these, like, milestones that are just usual dreams. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I mean, it seems like you guys never stop working. You guys are always
Ever.
putting out music, always putting out
We try
content.
and, we try and hold each other accountable to keep, doing better. And then we do on and off, like together and not together. We try and progress to get better. And
For sure, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Like every individual part puts in their own work so that when we come together, we can progress further and faster and do that. I mean, like even with COVID happening and having so many setbacks from everything we wanted to do, like we should be on tour right now if everything had went how we wanted to.
Yeah,
we've had to
we
keep
would have
moving
been
and
back
keep
by now.
adapting.
Yeah, we would have been back by now. But yeah, we had that Victims Downswing Weeping Wound tour cancel.
Yep.
But it opened also, COVID also was kind of an interesting time because like it made us like switch up what we were doing.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have been like, writing as much as we have been
we had a
recently.
lot of downtime.
It's crazy how much we've been writing.
Yeah.
And it's like writing are the best stuff we've ever written before.
100%. Yeah,
That's
it is. It
awesome.
is definitely a different level of stuff.
we're extremely
So
proud of it.
that's one of the pluses that came out of this whole weird time.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of like speaks to your character how you took that in stride. Where like you guys were on the cusp of just like breaking out of Atlanta, like no longer a local band, just like blowing up, getting out of here.
Yep.
And COVID shut down your plans that you were going forward, but you could have like got down on yourselves and pouted about it, and but you guys just kept grinding and working.
You just gotta roll with the punches or you'll sink. Like if there's a lot of bands that went into COVID with this, the mindset that it's like it's a huge setback and you can't use it to your advantage by, writing and creating content and getting more stuff
You just
out
have
there.
to adapt to the new game, pretty much.
Yeah.
For
It's
sure.
a constant evolution. Like we've adapted before COVID even happened. Like it's just a new set of like things that we have to that everyone's just learning.
Do you guys feel like the game will change permanently from this?
Yes.
It'll be a lot more internet based, I think.
It'll be-
like
there-
a lot more influence, as if it wasn't already.
Yeah.
Like
I just think there's going to be a lot of more live stream events and like things that people are going to get accustomed to from being, because there's like Uber Eats and like like then now food is being brought to doors and now like you can watch a live concert from
Concerts
your
being
house
brought
if you
to
want
doors.
to. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like Suicide Silence,
Right.
are doing their
Under Oath did one last night.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like
And
the
it's-
fact that it's possible to have that level of production.
And live music won't ever die. You know what I mean? Like because people love going to shows and it's like the whole euphoria of going and
For sure.
hanging out
I
with
think
seeing
there's
people.
also a bond that comes from seeing everybody that's there.
And
collectively
nothing
the same
beats
thing.
live music energy.
No.
Like that is an electric setting that will never be. I mean, you can watch sports from home and people still pay out the ass to get to fucking,
People
you know,
still
whatever
feel that
college or
energy.
NFL or whatever.
I mean, yeah, UFC, like their pay-per-view events are breaking records right
That's what I'm
now.
saying. So you can play in, you know,
Yeah.
60 cities in a night if you really wanted to. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, the reach is
it's unreal.
huge now
Yeah.
because of that. But like, yeah, like you said, like the live energy is irreplaceable though. So like any way we could get back to that, the sooner the better. Obviously,
We agree.
especially for your type of music.
It's
Yeah,
just, you
sometimes
know,
that's like what makes it for people.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I've seen bands live that I really didn't listen to before, and then I saw them live, and I was like, damn,
Yeah.
that band's really got it.
Yeah,
So it's,
Yeah, a live show from a band can really like make
Make
a
or
difference
break.
in how much you were really influenced
Yep.
by them and how much you really are like, damn, I really enjoy this band.
100%.
it like cements that love that you
Oh,
have going in, you know, because
Yeah.
it gives you that like the other sense. It gets the other senses involved other than just your ears.
I mean, I still remember going to shows at the old Masquerade, and it was like, you know, like just the most like nostalgic feeling now, you know, but like at the time it was just like such a, you know, you're just so stoked about being there, and you're so close to like these people that you just listen to their music all the time, and you can like it feels like, you know, a real connection live, and I think it's really cool that that is an option for music to still be able to do.
For sure.
Definitely brings a lot of like great intense feelings. Like I remember going to like first shows like back in the day when I was like 16, 18. Great times.
Yeah,
And
man.
it's just
It's a way to get out, way to let out that energy in the pit, you know, and just like beat the shit out of some people.
I remember I used to be so scared of the pit as a kid.
Yep.
Like going to metal shows, like I was just so terrified. And then one time, wasn't even in a pit, and someone pushed me into it. And immediately got like thrown on the ground. I was like, oh, okay, it wasn't that bad. Got back up and was like, all right. And then it was at a Slipknot show, and so then just started going ham in the pit for the first time ever. And like that live energy and that connectedness, like I think is irreplaceable because
100%.
it's like a sense of being home. Just because all these strangers I've never met before, they're all here
And they
feeling
care,
and loving and in the same moment. You know.
Also, live music really pushed my love to try to perform on a stage. You know what I mean? Like I remember seeing my favorite bands when I was younger, and I was just like, man, it'd be so sick to be on stage like doing this for, you know, the opposite way around versus like watching it live. So I think that it also inspires people to, you know,
for sure.
go out and do live music or try to, you know, follow things that maybe if live music wasn't a thing, then they wouldn't really try to, you know, fully realize that they want to do. So the inspiration behind live music is
a
really
great
cool
point.
as well.
And I mean, selfishly, like as a performer, you gotta miss that energy the crowd gives you. You know what I mean? Like there's
It is
nothing
like the high.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
it is.
like that.
Like I, you know what I mean? Like we smoke weed, partake, whatever, and then like, but it just doesn't equate. You know what I mean? Like when you're on
way.
stage and like the energy is there. Like the last tour that we went on with Bro Job and How the Dinosaur was crazy. Like every night, like that was like our first like real tour we went on. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Some
like.
of the best shows we play are like when we can smoke with the crowd, and then it's like a floor show.
Yeah, and it's like
Right.
right in front of your
Yeah.
face. Like in Philadelphia, we played at this record shop, and we played on the floor because the stage was tiny.
Okay.
But it sold out at the door.
Yeah,
and
we
like
got there and we saw how small it was, and we thought that
and it was
gonna
packed,
be a
and it was
bust.
like this little record store, but this like
It
one
was like
little
smaller than this
hallway.
room.
Yeah, it was sick.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it was longer
was
than this room, but it was
Playing on
definitely
the floor
smaller.
just made it so intimate, and
It
that
was
was probably
intense,
one of my
man.
favorite nights.
Yeah,
actually it was probably one of
100%.
my favorite nights on tour too.
Yeah,
Man, it was
same.
fun,
That was
dude.
super sick.
So like when you guys playing, you guys aren't like scared to interact with the crowd and get them like around you.
Yeah, I talk shit the entire time we're on stage. That's literally all. Like, I feel like we're just pure energy live. Like, we are very like interactive with people, and like we like to feed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like receive the energy. It's like definitely like a mutual thing, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's like
We're all
that old
feeling
school
the same
Chariot
thing.
vibe where they would just like the crowd.
Yeah,
was
see, we don't
part
go
of
that hard, but like, you know, there's definitely
Very intense. And
I mean, I remember going to
Strive to be.
those shows as a kid, and like the Chariot, like their crowd was part of the band.
nuts. Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
crazy.
Like they were singing in the mic.
We would
more
love
than he
that to
was.
be the
straight up.
case.
Well, I mean, there are plenty of times even on tour where Taylor offers, you know, if you know these lyrics, get the F up here.
And
Get the
people
fuck up
grab
on
the mic
stage.
out of my hand, and like
That's
they
the
know
sickest
everything.
shit.
It's
that
so
shit
sick.
changes kids' lives.
It's crazy,
Like-
and like it changes my life, dude. Because like I don't really understand. Like we go out and we play these shows, and then the kids like actually are knowing our lyrics like slowly
That's
and
so
surely.
cool.
Like we went on the Texas run, and like in Houston that last night, like it seemed like half the room knew our lyrics. Like it was
Yeah.
crazy. Like we had, like the energy was so high, and like
What was the song No Hope where we cut all the instruments.
Yeah,
and
it was
I
like,
never
I
had
never
a fucking
had-
choice.
yeah.
And you hear the crowd yelling it.
It was
That
crazy.
like
There's
the
a
first time.
video of it, yeah, and it was
We
it
never
honestly it
felt
made me
that.
emotional. I was just like, holy shit!
How could
like-
it not?
Because I mean, that was like one of the first times we were like super far away from home and playing shows, away from like the southern region that we're in, because we played in Florida and South Carolina, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was like our first like away show, really, and it was just super cool to see that people like halfway across the country are just jamming us so hard they come to our show and know our lyrics. Like that's just crazy
Yeah.
to think about.
So you guys are starting to feel that come up
For
in
sure.
that sense.
Oh yeah.
In a way, yeah, for sure,
In
yeah,
that sense,
definitely in
for
that
sure.
sense.
On the Bro Job tour, we had released the song "Loathe" the day of the tour,
Yeah.
and by about halfway through, every night after that,
Yeah, there was kids that knew every single
yeah,
lyric. Yeah, and I was
jamming
just like,
out
holy
to it, like
shit.
screaming the lyrics.
Like this thing got
trying to
released
get
like
the
5 days
microphone.
ago, and people are out there like like every
That
word,
was
and it's just like,
nuts.
what the hell is going on? Like,
This song just released.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It blew our mind.
nuts.
My favorite part about playing that song too on the tour was that like there's like one riff we call the Alien Flex where it's just like we just do like scrapes like back to back to back
Yeah.
to back and like and it's always I hear a bunch of like kids going oh like
Yeah, it's always like the wow factor. Yeah, it's so funny.
it's even happened too like the first time we ever played it live and it was like Brief Fest like the same thing happened. I'm like all right
That
this
was
song-
the first time we played that live.
Yeah.
That was that was a sick show too. I feel like that crowd response was crazy.
That was one
At
of
that
our
show.
first like small hometown or small home state shows that had ridiculous response.
Yeah, and like kids
Well, yeah, like-
really like responded. I forgot about that show. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy,
crazy.
too because like we played some like big shows like supporting like bigger bands like Attila and Ginger and Traders, but like going to like a show where it's like pretty much everybody else there is just primarily locals and stuff like that, and then just having like that kind of like energy, the crowd having that kind of energy, and just people piling in for us. It was like whoa.
yeah, it was insane.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
It goes to your work ethic and like, I guess your strategy of getting yourself out there. Like, I would like to go into kind of that, like how you guys marketed yourselves and really just kept pushing yourselves out there constantly. I mean, I know you guys did the single strategies where like what every 2 months.
We try to do every month, and then
Yeah.
as we started going on, we like sometimes it'd be like every 2 months would go
Yeah.
by and we get one out, but it's like not. We just
So,
kind of
like-
it's always like that's what I'm saying. It's always like evolving where our plans
Yeah.
change on like a week to week basis depending on what's going on. You know what I mean? So
So do you feel like this come up and this like exposure has been from just the constant grind, or do you feel like it was like something specific that you guys have been doing? Because a lot of local
kinda-
bands are trying to do what you guys
it
are doing.
revolves around like we work super hard. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like
It
all of
goes
us.
into a lot of
And we
shit.
also have a team. We have a manager,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a team behind us that helps us write. Like a PR person or whatever.
Yeah.
Who helps us do writing out, making us look good on paper. And he is fantastic. And Jeff Menig is great. That's
Yeah,
our
Jeff is really
manager.
cool.
And also Tuck O'Leary from Fit for a King is also
Okay.
co-managing us
Cool.
now. And just everyone, and we have a social media person, which is Tasha. She's great too. And it's not just us, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like we have other people who are also just like fantastic and super easy to work with that are just super driven as well with us. And like a well-oiled machine will carry you pretty far in the end. And it's just everyone is always super on go, which is great.
And like you were talking about, like the singles, I think that is super important nowadays because there are so many people putting out music, so many people that can do it, can get a recording. Like you have to build an audience in a sense. And if you have an hour worth of music and you put it out as an album and no one's there to receive it, you don't know the market that you have to pander to, the people that are going to listen, the people that might listen to it. You can spend all your money on a product that is ill-received, that no one really wants to hear. So the singles really do go a long way.
Like what?
Just keeping attention.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a constant flow. It's like influencers always are doing the constant stream of content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like YouTubers are always releasing, new videos all the time because they're trying to, put more things in front of people's eyes. And I feel like this, if a band waits like, 8 to 12 months to do an entire album, why not space it out to keep people interested throughout a 12-month period? You know what I mean?
Bait
Where-
them in the whole time and see what they like.
yeah, and it's
Yeah,
like you're
it's really good
constantly
idea.
putting things in front of them, so they're constantly seeing your name,
Yeah.
and they're constantly getting
No need to
more
blow
things.
your whole load at one
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
You can space it out.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
like,
we're eventually
you know,
gonna do an album, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, it's not.
Build up an audience.
You know,
and
you have,
actually-
yeah, exactly. You have to like, work your wave up instead of just like blowing your load with no one knows you, and you're just
still
releasing
working
an
off the
entire work
momentum
of
of
stuff.
the
you know?
last wave too. So
Yeah.
each time you do the next thing, it's like you're still. It's just.
And you can learn from it each time. Like,
Right.
this worked when
Oh,
we
this-
did this. Like,
Exactly. It's a
we
constant
have,
flow.
we
Yeah.
have definitely learned what does
Trial and error is a big
Like,
part of it.
where are you gonna put your music out?
Like we've,
How
like
important
yeah,
it is to have a music video.
100%.
straight up.
oh, for sure.
Visual content is
yeah,
a
like you're saying,
huge
the
thing.
gating
Finding
nowadays.
somebody who's actually reputable and doing videos and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
And not taking the cheap way out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the big way. That's a big
lot of it
problem.
is not taking the
That
cheap
is a
way
bit.
out.
I feel like that is like one of the bigger problems that I feel like younger band or like we're still a young band, but like just bands starting out in the local scene that don't get it. They'll try to like get the cheapest way. Like, oh, my friend will shoot a music video for $100. Let's just do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
There's
you have to.
There's like a whole stigma with
Yeah.
like trying to say like, oh, it's too expensive. It's like they're trying to rip me off or something. But it's
And
like,
it's like
you get what you pay for.
You
man.
definitely get what
Yeah.
you pay for, and it's. I don't think people understand the amount of work that goes into like filming a video editing, and obviously you guys get it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just like
how
it's,
much money involved in just the production of the Year of Suffering
yeah,
is out,
it's absurd.
outrageous.
It's absurd. Yeah,
Yes.
we have so many things like from our art. We got it done
Dude,
by
from-
someone who's really
From
great.
the art to the music videos
To the
to
music
the production
video.
to the fucking everything
Yeah.
involved in that album is like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
100%.
And it's not necessarily
And like the ads that were put behind it, and like just everything in general. We got everything remastered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like we sent that off to a really marketable. It was Rogue Planet Mastering.
Okay.
And he is fantastic and made all of those songs sound even bigger somehow, which is crazy because Aaron Pace does a great job.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
he's
he
great.
killed it for us for our first singles and stuff. And
Aaron Pace
shout out to
got-
Aaron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aaron
seriously,
Pace got
dude.
us like really started up in the damn. Okay, he was the attention grabber.
I mean, yeah, y'all's shit sounded unreal right out the jump.
yeah,
Like,
it's then that's what I'm saying. You have to give people a good impression. It kind of revolves back to like not taking the cheap way out. Because if you're going to
We
put
wanted
out
to come
really
together.
good content at first, you're going to get way more people's attention than putting out like a EP and then trying to like recover from it. At
Yeah.
the, in like in
It's like
in
you're
reality.
shooting yourself in the foot if like you don't invest wisely from the start.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Like,
just
you
like
don't
any
have to-
small business. You know what I mean? Like if the more
And
money you put
it's
into
not like
it,
you have to spend boatloads of money up front, but you have to at the same time like you have to put out stuff that's like worth it, and like
Quality
pay
content.
quality. Yeah,
Yeah.
You have to pay for quality. And it's like you don't have to like spend like $10,000 on a music video, but like going to a guy that seems like he's well and it's like $1,500 or something like that, then
Yeah.
it's worth it. Then pick that over your friend who's just getting into like
and also really dive into who you're working with. You know what I mean? If they have a catalog of like solid stuff, then like that's way easier than being like, hey, this guy just got out of SCAD and he's gonna do your video. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
doesn't even
he might
like metal,
be good,
like-
but you're just taking a gamble on not getting a quality quality content back.
Because like it's cool to work with your homies and stuff like that and figure it out yourself, but like you're really robbing yourself because working with these different people, like you really learn
Connections
a lot.
as well.
Exactly.
And connections
Yeah.
is a huge thing.
You get connections,
And, like
you learn a
like
lot,
the more
and
people that you know,
it can
the
project you, man.
100%. Yeah, the more
there's the whole
people.
theory of like you got to start somewhere, but like if you are out the gate off the rip, like try and seek out people that know more than you, then that's really the bigger thing. Is like finding, peers that can actually help you and get you to excel yourself and do a lot of that. Because
And it really doesn't help the more people that you know that are doing well. You know what I mean? Like who are like inserting themselves in the scene or like whatever. You know what I mean? In the music industry in general. Like the more of those like higher people that know you, and like the more that happens, there's like bigger audiences that are being dropped down onto your band. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
taking tips and tricks from pretty much anybody.
yeah,
Like,
anyone
it
that knows
helps.
what they're talking about for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, if you stay humble and then put yourself out there, you're gonna learn so much, and gain so much from it too.
100%.
But like 100%, like what you're saying with the production value, like especially music like y'all's, you're not like an indie band that can get by on doing like a demo at home, and
Yeah.
like the quality is like kind of endearing for indie bands. You know what I
It's
mean?
also a lot of like modernized metal
Yeah.
is like the production value is actually crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's these bands coming out that are just like doing insane stuff with music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like they're if you're releasing any sort of subpar content, you're gonna get buried
Yeah.
underneath these bands that are just killing it with production, like, you know, like from video to their mix, you know what I mean? Like whatever, like there's just bands that are out there killing it. You know
Dude,
what I
yeah,
mean?
if you're gonna like start off a band, like definitely put all of your eggs in one song, all of them, and just like make it the most hot shit, even if you know it's all of your money in one thing, and then put that out to the market because that's what you want the world to see. That's what they're gonna judge you off of, and then either they like it and they want more, or you can really recognize like what you need to do from them. And it's like,
Yeah. For sure, that's a good approach.
It's also really important to also pay attention to like what people like the feedback you get from like other people, which you know for us like it's been generally positive.
Yeah.
Very positive.
But
It
any,
was,
any
like-
band is gonna
Yeah, but
not
like
have people that like.
Do you guys listen to that feedback? Like, really,
from
like, take it to heart?
Time to time, I feel like at first, I feel like we were really worried about how we would be received. But like throughout time, I feel like we've kind of come into our own where we know who we are musically now.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to feel comfortable in what we're writing. So because we're not trying to like appease a lot, you know, like because
At the end of the day, we know what we want to write, and like we get the good vibe, like when we write a song, and like we know that there's definitely other people out there that like are going to share that vibe with us.
exactly.
And, like if that's what happens with the song, then like that's mission accomplished.
Yeah, exactly, and the feedback thing I think is good, just to like help pinpoint what the fans perceive as like our biggest strengths and stuff like that too. And it's obviously like we're the type of people like we're still gonna keep experimenting and doing what we want.
because we're always evolving, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
always evolving.
even as people, like our process from, you know, practicing to recording to anything has changed from day one.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
absolutely
Like we have drastically just been always changing how we go
Continue to
about
do
doing
so, for
things.
sure.
We'll just always be a heavy band.
That's good.
That's it.
Good.
Like, it'll be heavy in
That's what we
some
want.
kind
In
of
some
sense.
sort of way, yeah.
It's going to be heavy in some way.
In
for
some way,
But
for
that's
sure.
what like it's the staple that will live by, but everything else is always going to evolve.
Yeah.
And it's like as we get older and mature more, we listen. Like all of us here, like listen to like stuff outside of metal all the time, and it's just like
100%.
hearing, so, like you know, you hear like little things in like other like genres and stuff like that too. It's just like okay, that's cool how they did that. You know, how can it work in a heavy band? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how you create new sounds and new, you know, subgenres within the genre you're in.
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's how you
We'll just keep expanding.
stand out. I mean, if you're doing what every other metal band's doing, then you're going to sound like every other metal band.
100%. Yeah.
I play a lot of drums off of like banjo rhythm influence and shit.
Sick.
It's stupid.
Well, another, like, you guys brought up something that made me think of the constant release strategy is going to help you not get pinned down or like typecasted by your audience. Like,
Yep.
oh, they're this, and I've only been hearing this for 2 years because that's the only album they've had for 2 years. So like, if their next album's different, then I'm going to be upset because like I'm expecting more of this.
Yeah.
But
Also,
if you're
people have
constantly doing it.
attention span of a fly nowadays.
right.
You know what I mean? With all the like stuff on the internet, you can scroll on TikTok or Facebook or Twitter for hours, seeing so like thousands of different videos, however long you're on your phone. You know what I mean? So like, you know, if you don't catch people's attention off a rip, they're just going to keep scrolling, and that's
Right? Like, why release anything like an album or anything until there's an actual demand?
and then until there's like enough
you
people where it's
know-
like we want an album. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
If you have 100,000 people screaming like, well, "We want it," like,
yeah. Then at
go
that
for
point,
it.
do an album.
You
know
guys
what I
aren't
mean?
on a
Even
label,
then-
right?
Do what?
You guys aren't on a label.
No,
right?
yeah, we're independent.
we're gonna try
So
and
it's
keep it that way.
all you guys just whatever you guys want to do, which is huge. It's like, I don't know if you guys follow. There's a comedian, Andrew Schultz.
Name sounds
I
familiar.
He kind of he changed the game of like comedy, where like everyone was doing signing deals with Netflix or Hulu or like Amazon to do their specials, right?
Yeah.
So Andrew Schultz was like, I'm just gonna release all my specials on YouTube for free and let like the people decide if I'm worth it or not. And he's one of the biggest like top 5 comics in the world now.
That's awesome.
And
Wow.
making all the money he like wants.
great. Good for
because
him.
he's just like, I'm gonna control my stuff. Like I don't want networks or like in your case a record label controlling what I do.
I mean,
and
if
saying if I'm worth
I mean,
it.
if the time arises where like there's a deal that's going to benefit us in the long run, you know what I mean? We're not going to try to like sign away all of our rights to our music where we're going to flounder, you know what I mean? Because we're not making any money from it, you
It would
know?
be like a long-term plan.
It would be like, I mean, not even. It's just like like something that's going to benefit us, even like just for an album cycle. You know what I mean? It just depends on the.
We've put a lot of work
The
into
situation.
this, and like we will definitely take good care of what we've.
I mean, it seems like you guys love it. So I mean, like that's all that
yeah.
matters. I mean, keep control as much as you can. 'Cause
We've all devoted
Yeah.
most of our life to
Pretty
making
much.
this work.
that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, the people
Most,
are
if
loving
not
it.
all, honestly.
Yeah, let's say I've pretty much sacrificed my whole life
Yeah,
to
it's
do
pretty,
this shit.
it's pretty
so,
much all
yeah.
in, man.
My work
Like,
schedule works around what we have going
Yeah.
around.
This is
all
like
the time.
what our main priority in our
anything
lives
else
are.
feels
fucking
weird,
awesome.
man. You know,
That's
it
like
just doesn't work.
that's the best thing to hear. Like
Yeah.
people following their dreams and like succeeding is like one of the greatest joys.
You know,
Like,
yeah.
seeing that, like, you know,
I mean, if
Yeah.
you want it to be a full time job, you got to treat it like that. You know what I mean? Like if you really want to do stuff in music, then you got to really devote a decent amount of time and money into it because you know,
Making a
just like
natural
anything
habit,
though,
and it just
Yeah,
comes
you know.
naturally. Yeah.
so
got to manifest
Do
it.
it.
Yep.
now that you guys are kind of now that you guys are kind of finding like a little bit of success, are you seeing any return on your investment? Like, or were you, I guess, before COVID? Because that probably
I mean,
Shut it down
yeah.
a
I
little
mean,
bit?
the band pays for a lot of stuff that we do. You know what I mean? We're not
Yeah.
getting personal paychecks off of the
Yeah.
band yet. You know what I mean?
But like,
back in the day, we were dumping.
Yeah, now, but back, I was gonna say, back in the day, everything came out of pocket. We're like dumping,
long time.
you know, and now the band is pretty much just kind of like, you know,
It's a self-sustaining
you know,
machine,
for most of the part, you know what I mean. But it's definitely, you know, self-sustaining enough where it's
Yeah.
like we're not dumping thousands of our own money into it. Which you have to do that at first, though. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, we're not complaining, but it's definitely,
you have to make
you
the
know,
investment. But
right.
definitely-
It's definitely starting to turn over to the point where we're not
seeing
having.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
We've always
it's really
remained a team as far as the finances. It's never been like anybody collects money in any type
Yeah.
of way.
Yeah, for sure.
Like really,
It's all just like the band
that
has
road
the
is-
money. You know what I mean? It's like not like
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think we all pretty much just throw into the pot to feed the monster that is left to suffer. And we just
Straight up.
and watch it grow until it grows to whatever we can make it grow to.
eventually maybe it'll feed us back. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
yeah.
That'd be
Right
cool.
now it's
That's-
feeding
yeah.
itself, so I'm happy.
we could throw it in the wild and it would still do okay. you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's cool.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right. Yeah, I want to get into some music stuff.
Cool.
If you guys don't mind. So like, first off, one of the first things people are going to notice about you guys' music is like how aggressive and like in your face the lyrics are. Just like, fuck you, this is metal. Like, I'm angry. Like, that's fucking like the shit you want to hear when you listen to heavy music is like that aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I want to know like, how do you draw inspiration for those lyrics? Like, is it personal stuff? Like,
Most of the time it's personal stuff, but a lot of the time I just deal with things inside of me.
Yeah.
And like I'm just kind of angry when it comes, and like they write music that makes me pissed. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot easier to like listen to a track where it's just like, oh, like I feel so mad listening to this because of how like dark and aggressive all of like, what they all write is just, it fits what I feel. So I feel like as a unit, it all just pulls together this like really unique mad sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Spite does it. And like
Oh my
Spite's
God, yeah.
pissed. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
there's-
they're, and like I love that band.
Yeah.
And I pull a lot of inspiration from Darius, and it's just he's just pissed as fuck all the time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like it's just fun to do that, and like I pull it from my insides, just being mad sometimes.
for
you
sure,
know?
man. I just love how like unabashedly angry it is.
Oh yeah, it's unapologetic. It'll punch you in the face and curb stop you, and then not apologize and walk away.
That's
basically
exactly
it.
what you want.
Yeah,
for
that's-
this type of.
Jacob Wallace from Rojob described us as hate music.
Yeah,
And we went out
hate
to,
music. Yeah,
That's probably like the best compliment you could get.
Oh, I love that. I was like, that's exactly what we are.
I'm
Yeah.
happy.
We are literally hate music.
So like you said, like a lot of it comes from like the feels of what they write. So like your writing process, is it kind of like a one person writes a riff and then you yes and it like with each other, or is
It
like,
is so scattered, to be real
We
with
had
you. Like
some-
we write in so many different ways. Because before, we would write stuff. We would jam it out, and we would like at practices we would sit there and we would like try to come up and like with songs,
A lot of
and
improv,
and then we would a lot of improv to bring it into Aaron.
Yeah, we would improv until we played a section together that we really liked, and we would go back to it and like try and repeat it.
The whole the practice
Make up a
basically
little
stuff,
riff
right?
salad.
Yeah, that's so we would take that to
garage
Aaron
bands.
and then really bring it to life with Aaron and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say kind
And,
of
like,
have a rough shell when we take it to Aaron, and then like.
But our writing now versus then was just it's completely different now. Like my roommate has a studio or whatever, and we all they all come over and we just like write on a computer now. You know what I mean? Like they come over and then we like play with riffs and like write drum tracks and like do whatever we want to it, and like then we just write it piece by piece on the computer. And it's pretty sick.
So it's more of like the
We
old
just
school
jam.
pen and paper approach now.
Yeah, now it's we basically bring it to
It
this.
got to the point where we all figured out that like, as if you want to be like a musician that writes music, like becoming familiar with the DAW and stuff is like it's a good step that you need to familiarize yourself with.
Yep.
With anybody.
Yeah, Pete and I will sit at our own houses and record a little demo, get some MIDI drums, and then have an idea of what we want to do before we even take it over there, or sometimes we just completely go off the
off the hook of the
hinge over there and
this one's
Straight up, just like, what are we gonna do today?
Yeah, that's really cool. Just have that freedom and just like
Yeah, it's nice because like I feel like we get a lot of vibes and we're just kind of like it's more like just chilling and like messing around with riffs until
Yeah,
we
like
find
Levi
something.
said earlier, it's always going to be heavy. We always want some heavy flavor to
For
it.
sure.
This is just the definition of heavy evolves.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's hard to plan inspiration. You know what I mean? Like if you have a space that you can constantly just like dump, like whenever you have a spontaneous idea, you can dump it right there, and then you're gonna have more creative and more ideas that can turn into gold. You know what I mean?
Yep, straight
Instead
up.
of trying to like once a week we have to figure this out. It's like you might not be in the right
You might have
headspace.
gotten into a fight with somebody that
Exactly.
day, like not even in the band, and then you threw off your own vibe and going in there. And so like that's just human nature. You have off days and stuff like that. I think that is why it is so detrimentally important to kind of track your own ideas or have that ability to at least have a decent recording of whatever you're playing.
For
I
sure.
remember back in the day when we were just playing riffs and recording it off of a cheap little Android phone, and all you heard was just so much distortion. Like,
It was like I think I remember that riff.
actually, hold on.
It's like how many
me see if
amazing
I-
riffs were lost in that process. you know?
Dude, so many.
And sometimes the inspiration it hits you when you don't expect it. Like, I was thinking there was one night a few months ago when me and Taylor were just talking about hanging out, and it's like, let's get some beer and pizza, and then I brought my guitar over too. We started tracking, and it ended up turning into one of the best songs for the EP coming up.
Yeah,
That's sick.
that was what song was that?
The event.
Oh yeah, that's
Pizza and
right.
beer.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was just like, we're gonna write a little bit, and every single
spoiler.
demo we had before that, we're just like, all right, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, spoiler alert, we're writing an EP. It's all good, but yeah, we just been writing a lot, and that's our plans are to have an EP written.
Gotta
we
stay
have
busy.
one written now, but
I mean, do you guys have you heard any news about when places are starting to open up? Like when you can start?
I hear
touring again?
scattered things from the end of the year if the spike goes down to next summer, a year from now.
Yeah.
It's like,
You
who
know,
really knows?
I mean, I
So-
saw like Warped Tours coming back and shit. Like
Yeah, I
already
saw that
planned.
too. I
But,
saw that in 2021.
Yeah, I've heard that
So they're
sick.
planning, for next year, but
I've been hearing maybe by the end of the year start doing shows again, and also hear maybe 2022 is when things actually will go back to normal for the music industry.
wow.
Yeah, everything just you really don't know what's going to happen.
So much speculation.
Yeah, it's just no one really knows. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of a up in the air thing, I guess, till it just happens.
I guess the vaccine will probably kick everything into drive if that happens.
for
but,
sure.
Yeah, you can't really plan on that, so you just got to keep grinding. But you guys have been, so that's sick.
Always.
For sure. Okay, so random going back to vocals and the hateness that comes out of your music. I had a bandmate in the past that said that he could never be in a metal band because he wouldn't want to be channel that anger every night, on a tour or playing the music, which is weird to me. I was I kind of related to I kind of relate metal music and that aggression to playing sports. A football player doesn't hate his opponent every night. You know what I mean? He's just fueling his aggression and athleticism into what he's doing. You don't necessarily have to hate
I honestly feel like if for me personally, sorry, but for me personally, it's more of an outlet for me. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to be pissed all the time. You know what I mean? Because I can go and play music with these guys and I can get out whatever I'm upset about, because everyone like gets upset, you know what I mean?
For
like
sure.
I don't have to channel my anger necessarily where I'm like I have to act angry, you know what I mean? I just literally use it, and I use it for my outlet to get my pissed offness out. You know, maybe I'm a little bit more mad than other people sometimes, but whatever.
That writing from a perspective of already being angry, you know, and just feeling those emotions and letting them fly and come as is, you know, it's not like something that you have to channel almost. Like I get out there and like I love it, it's my favorite thing, but like I'm so angry when I'm on stage.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I mean, you were talking about like do we interact with the crowd and stuff like that. There are sometimes if there's a low enough stage, I'll jump down during Burden at the very beginning because Christian has his bass intro, and I'll start throwing kicks at the crowd, you know. And it's just feeling it in the moment. It's not hating the crowd or anything like that. It's just like feeling the aggression and the things.
It's just the emotion that we pack behind the music.
It's like passion.
And
It
it's
is.
like the
It is
adrenaline,
like that, yeah.
The adrenaline of all the anger. It's not we're attracted to the anger and those kind of emotions itself, but the adrenaline that comes with it is just like we just like sitting on it. It's just like you get really into it. But like you play on live, like I'm like pissed. It's just like just have a good time.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like jacked up. It's like that adrenaline.
Exactly.
It's not like
It's
pissed.
we're all not really angry dudes either. Like
No,
in real life.
I mean
anyways.
you've been so chill like the whole time, which is like always cool to like. That's why I love like doing this podcast, is because you get to see the human aspect of these
Right.
bands that you just see this one side of. And it's like these are human beings like that have that are just like you, just happen to be
100%.
better at music than you.
Exactly. I mean, it'd be a lie.
Or we are not even that good.
Depends what day it is.
Yeah, like I mean, not saying we never ever get mad at anything. It's just more like generally, it's like everything's pretty straight.
I think it is also like I've noticed myself almost feeling more angry during this time of COVID. I feel like getting to express it and put it out there and it being well received almost is like a form of therapy in a weird
It's
sense.
the outlet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, music is definitely therapy. I mean, for the
100%.
people who listen and the people who play,
Yeah.
just in different ways, for sure.
It's gonna be so great once like all this COVID stuff's over, and then like if we like start playing shows again. But also it's like society being like, okay, let's go to shows. Like no one's scared to go out.
Yeah, the comeback is going to be so big, man.
Yeah, because
Who
people are
knows when
so
it's gonna be.
antsy to go to shows already.
People are
Like,
thirsty for it.
And
It's going to be so big.
I almost even kind of worry what it's going to do to local bands, like small bands, because people are going to be so wanting to see music, but they're going to think about all the shows that they missed of their favorite bands that have been around for years.
yeah, but also like they're probably like at first they'll probably go to whatever show they can get. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like,
So
just
local
if it's
shows
a show
might
in general,
local
it's
shows
sold out,
might
where's the
do
next
really well. You know?
Hopefully.
They're probably going to be
Which
the
is-
first ones to come
That's
back.
what I'm saying. Yeah, they will, and like that's what I'm saying. Like once like if locals do come back first, that's going to be great for them.
Yeah.
it's like
It's like they can get way more exposure from people who are just so concert hungry.
Exactly.
Like they'll just
And everybody
go
who
to
wrote music during
Like,
the
if you can-
quarantine
if you
is gonna be
can-
set.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can safely go to like a 50, 100 cap room, then like people are going to jump at it.
Yep.
For
Get
sure.
off the chain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they'll probably use those as test runs to see if it's safe.
Oh, for
For
sure.
the big venues. So, like,
yeah, it's like
that'll be great. That's a good point. I
it's
didn't
like
even think
probably
about that.
hopefully early next year we could probably like or later this year if things do go well. But it's like like playing like a 50, 100 cap show.
Yeah.
Start with that. I mean, obviously I feel like
Maybe a
bands like
half
us-
cap. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like still like everybody can mosh and everybody can have a good time.
I've heard that they're going to try to make people not mosh. And I don't know how you could possibly.
Warped Tour tried to do it too. Like
How
there was
is-
signs that were like don't mosh.
I mean,
People
it's
still
so-
mosh.
Dude, we have played next to signs that say no moshing.
Dude, South
I've
Carolina, that
gotten
fucking the
rocked
new
by a sign that says no moshing.
yeah, the new Brooklyn Tavern, dude. We played or whatever, and these kids were going off, and there was like right on the sign, like right next to the mosh pit, was like no moshing.
That's exactly
But when
where I
people,
thought.
Yeah. I
People
mean, I
say
can't
this kind
imagine
of
how many
stuff, like-
security guards you'd have to have.
yeah, when I said like no moshing, what it's really they're trying to say is like, all right, if you guys mosh, we're not taking responsibility.
Yeah, it's
for
literally what it's a
your injuries
liability
or
thing,
if you
for
spread COVID or whatever. Like, totally understand that.
Yeah.
You know,
I get
we've
it
never
too.
had any issues at any of our shows with anybody doing anything really dangerous. We everyone kind of gets the vibe. Like we're there, we're pissed, but like we love what's up. Like
I mean, it's a great community.
Yeah.
From the outside, it looks like really sketchy, but like those people know what they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, we understand that, but like honestly, dude, like it's nothing but love. Like nobody would maliciously go after anybody, at least at our shows like that.
Yeah,
that's
I don't
not.
think
And if that was the case, we would call them out.
Yeah, straight
Yeah.
up.
Straight up.
I'd kick someone's ass. I wouldn't call them out.
I'm sure you could.
Call them out. Well,
Like, we're here to have fun, not start fights and be mean to each other.
I mean, anything you said, they'd probably listen because you were a big old.
I literally
scary
just
guy.
talk shit the entire time I'm on stage. Like,
You pussies.
yeah, I'm just like, I'm so fucking standing in the back, motherfuckers.
Everyone is literally in the front. I see that one person.
Yo, bartender,
No,
what's up?
fucking, when we were Cloud Springs or whatever, and everyone was in the back or whatever, and I was just like, yo, if you fucking stand in the back, I'm gonna stand here all fucking night. You're gonna look like a jackass. And everyone came up. That shit was so funny.
It worked.
The whole fucking back.
I mean, y'all's presence, you can get people to do what you want.
We're
You're
huge.
scary looking dudes.
Yeah, we're all
Angry
awesome.
enough, speak
Yeah.
loud enough.
straight up.
I was thinking like if there was a band
Hey.
battle royale, like Anchorman style in Atlanta, y'all would probably win.
I'm down. Let's Hunger Games this shit.
That actually was the qualifications to win the band.
Yeah, straight up. You had, they would drop. So
least 6 feet.
Yeah, our induction was we got dropped in the middle of the woods, like with like a bunch of wolves. And they released a bunch of wolves around. You had to fight your way out by the next day, or
You were the 5 out of the 100.
Yep.
That's awesome.
150 actually.
All right, shitty segue. Let's go into breakdowns.
Yeah,
Breakdowns of metal. So, like, do you guys feel a shit ton of pressure to make like a unique breakdown for your songs, or does it just come supernatural?
I don't think that it's
Naturally.
pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think we've ever been like we have to write a breakdown. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just like we end up just writing fat ass breakdowns.
We've
You know what I mean? Like,
definitely tried to be unique,
Yeah.
but when it comes to like breakdowns, as long as it fucking slaps,
yeah,
it slaps.
it's just
I
slaps
mean,
and slaps.
if you start making it almost like too choppy,
forcefully.
too unique, it stops losing the feel of being a breakdown.
Yeah.
4/4 is okay.
Yeah, straight up.
Sometimes less is a lot more.
Yeah.
You know,
Like a breakdown is definitely for what's about to happen in the room in a live setting.
Yeah.
I feel like
for
that's
sure.
yeah.
That's
You
what
know, at
brings
least
the
in metal
energy,
it is,
really. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Especially at our shows. You know, we can play two-step riffs and stuff, but every time the breakdown hits, it's always like,
when it hits.
oh, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it goes from 0 to 100.
It's a very high adrenaline point of the song. You
Yeah.
know, like the other parts of the song, like have sadness, depression, anger, what have you. But like right there, that's like high ass adrenaline. Like
It's like a come together moment for
shit's
everyone.
popping. What's up?
What's up?
Dude, the breakdown in Lost at Last is my favorite one, for sure.
Oh, the went ones, the Jacob special, the microwave breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that shit is so sick and groovy.
Oh yeah,
Like every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh, it just gets in you, just like.
I feel good just because I get a second to be like, hey, look at me.
And then
I'm going to
the
do a bunch of...
the tagline going into it is so weird. It's so like unique too. Like you could wish you could write like this, do it. Like where did that come from?
I plead the fifth.
I
knew I was going to get this question asked, dude.
Are you No, okay. We don't
No, it's cool. Yeah, no, it's
Were you calling somebody out?
Yes,
That's
we'll say
sick.
we were totally calling someone out. We're not going to name said
No, I
person.
don't want you to, but that's sick.
We will not.
That's what I was hoping it was.
It was. And
We
it
were
was
salty.
We give
and
a generalized...
We were salty.
story
It was
without any
awesome.
names.
yeah, we can tell the story with no names.
That's what I'm
Honestly,
saying.
I
Yeah,
When
go
we
for it.
were
Yeah.
our old band,
Yeah.
we played a show, and there happened to be some more famous musicians from, a local area. We were like, oh, hey, they're here. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
And we debuted, it was the second time we'd ever played that song, I think.
yeah.
And
Don't say
it
what song it is either.
Yeah, it ended up being one of our first songs, but
Yeah.
still. We were like, all right, that was cool, and we seemed well received and did well. And then, 2 months later, we heard an album by that band that
Yeah.
the members were there, and sounded
It was-
really familiar to
It was
us.
a
to
really,
something.
it was a really blatant ripoff.
Whoa.
And it was kind of unreal. And
There was no way it was a coincidence.
dude.
It was
There's
so
it was
close.
literally like, dude, are you serious? Like it was like it was.
you know.
I'll give it to them. They did it better. But whatever.
I mean, honestly, I'll attest to that because I like whatever, but still,
But
like,
we really fucking tried.
It was still the like.
There's no way that's a
Come
coincidence.
on, man! Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was.
So,
But
yeah,
you know, we got upset and we put it in the song. Whatever.
That's
you know
kind of
what I mean?
flattering. I mean, hey, it's like they thought you were good enough to like rip your shit.
100%. Yeah, I
And
guess, yeah.
they inspired that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that shit is one of the most iconic taglines I've ever heard.
Iconic.
Yeah, that was like one of our big ones. That fucking meme that went around was like the Shia LaBeouf do it meme. Did you ever see that?
And the
Yeah.
slap fight one. The
Yeah.
slap champion.
Oh my
one.
god! Yes. I forgot about that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was a well received breakdown for sure.
It was.
that's sick. Yeah,
Breakdowns are good, dude.
breakdowns are good. I mean, it's like breakdown porn nowadays in some
And
of these
stuff.
bands.
Oh, yeah.
it's like there are 5 breakdowns back to back to back.
It's literally what Burden is.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it sometimes.
Burden is literally just like 5 breakdowns put back to back together.
Different speed breakdown.
Straight up.
It's like-
with like a kind of breakdowny chorus.
How many times can we slow this down? Like,
Yeah, it's like Car Bomb by the Acacia Strain. I love that song.
Car bomb.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We're thinking of Tactical Nuke.
Oh, Tactical Nuke. That's what I was thinking about. Not Car Bomb. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Tactical Nuke. That's what I was thinking about.
5 becomes like every time.
As long and drawn out as possible.
yeah, but that's the heaviness, man. I mean, that's where it's heading. It's that like instant gratification life that we live nowadays. You know what I mean? Like the more breakdowns you can give somebody.
Yeah, I mean, well, people just eat that shit up for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, I get it because I will listen to breakdowns all day long. You know, I love listening to breakdowns. Like, it's like if the whole song could be like, I could be like, whatever about it. But if there's a sick ass breakdown, I'm gonna listen to it again. Like, I don't know. Like, there's, I don't know.
Man, it ended so nasty.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna sit through the other song because that breakdown was so good.
Yep, for sure. But you guys are like actually groovy too. You're not just like the breakdown band.
Yeah, not
Which
to
I
say
like.
breakdowns aren't the best part of the
No.
song.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
one of the good
Yeah.
parts. Like, dude, we fucking
I feel
love
like
a
we-
spicy riff just as much as a good
Yeah.
breakdown. Like,
I feel like a lot with our new stuff, or a lot of our new stuff is very groovy.
You're
And,
very
like,
riff oriented.
But yeah, it's very riff oriented. But we have like the banging breakdowns. You know what I mean? Which I don't know. I feel like the new stuff that we're writing is so much beyond the other stuff almost.
It's
in my
gonna be a
opinion,
It just feels more mature.
mature is what I was trying to say. Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, then that's gonna come with time, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I was listening to the eyelist, and that is so groovy in some parts. It's just like makes you honestly just want to dance,
well,
which
dude,
is like
we
the cool part about
Hats
music.
off to Slipknot.
Yeah, we're all huge Slipknot fans, man. Like, we all fuck with that band. So
And that's my favorite Slipknot song.
straight up, yeah.
Yeah.
So
What mine too?
we had talked about like covering, songs and shit. And
Yeah.
when that one came up, we all like jumped and were like, yo, yeah.
It
And
was
just
the
gonna be-
20-year anniversary of that album too.
It was,
So you're
yeah.
like, what better way to pay homage? And
Yep.
And they're just
Still
one of the
sounds
dudes
so
that, like, they
you,
did
though.
it. They do
Like-
a lot of things.
Yeah,
They're
it's like
still
what
doing
I
it.
thought that was cool too. Like, we definitely sound like it's LTS, but it's
You can
a
barely
Slipknot
tell it's a
song.
cover.
Yeah, it's sick. I love it.
I was gonna say, I think with our approach to it in the studio was very different than how it was approached originally. But we tried to play the riffs as true to what they were, in the
Yeah.
writing process. But
Maybe we'll
approach
just
the whole
have to
thing.
And I
like,
had to change some of Joe Jordan's and shit.
he's like, oh, hold up.
Too much.
maybe we'll just have to record an album with Ross Robinson and see how that process goes.
We might just have to do it.
Straight
That'd
up.
be sick, dude.
Called out.
Please.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna watch
Please.
this.
Rob, if you
Email
watched it, I saw, dude.
We'll email you.
All right, so another random terrible segue. I've been seeing on your personal Facebook page you singing like a bunch of covers of like clean vocals, like
Yeah.
that. I don't know if a lot of your fans like follow you, but like I'm sure they didn't know that you can sing, like
Well,
legit
it's actually
sing.
crazy because it's my voice dubbed over his face.
Damn it! That's why I wanted to be told like this.
Now we know. Oh no.
Nah,
Exposed.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of our fans do follow me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, all of us in general, but like, I feel like that we're very connected with our our fans.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean? We're all
They are
very
homies.
we're all very like super engaging. You know what I mean?
sure.
Social media wise with the fans, so it's cool. But yeah, when I first posted, I think I posted the Weekend cover was my first like one that I put out that was like at me actually singing and stuff, and a lot of people were like super like, what the, you know what I mean? Like, but it's been super cool now. Like I'll post it now and people are just like, they just like gas me up, and I think it's really cool. And I started singing before I did harsh vocals, so like I don't know, I just started trying to do that again because I focused for a few years now on trying to like make myself sound good screaming.
Man, it's versatile.
He's so versatile with your screaming. It's like really impressive. Like
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
It sounds like you have like 4 different people screaming on the song, but it's just you. It's like it's really crazy and hard to find.
That's cool. I appreciate
really
that
cool.
so much.
But like the clean vocals adds a whole nother dynamic. Like, are you guys ever thinking about going in that direction in the future? Because a lot of heavy bands will start just screaming, and then one way or another, like either through their own personal thing or they feel like they need to reach more fans through singing, they start clean vocals.
Yeah, we'll have a whole discography at one point. Some of it'll be heavy as balls, and some will definitely have some clean. And,
we've already
That's when we'll start.
Just cleans only.
We're just gonna ride. We're gonna ride my screens for as long as they can go, and then once they go, I'll start singing.
Yep, you heard.
No, we started starting to dabble with things, small areas, trying to see if how we feel about it and stuff. Like
how it receives.
And with even with Wasted, I did that scream singing stuff where it was still melodic. You know what I mean? I wasn't actually undertones were me actually singing, but like it's mainly like you know what I mean? Like scream singing would kind of like bring me the Horizon-esque. Like stylistically, you know what I mean?
Like Every Time I Die.
Exactly. And we did that, and then with our new stuff that we're writing, if it fits there, then it'll fit there. But like, eventually, I feel like we can evolve to add some eventually, but we'll still be heavy regardless.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Like you said, it's still going to be heavy regardless.
We still got to be pissed, but we can like lift the veil for like a quick second and then like drop it right back on.
I mean, it gives you more gravity. It gives the heavy parts even more heaviness.
Yeah, straight up.
And you give them a little bit of a melody.
Contrast gives it a lot more depth.
Yeah,
like
I love it. Yeah,
song feel bigger and fuller.
For sure.
100%.
I feel that. All right, so are you guys ready to do your performance aspect?
Yeah.
So let's run that.
Are you ready?
Let's
Flip it,
do it.
fix it, or forge it, or flip it, forge it, or fuck it.
Fuck it.
We were originally going to release this before you released the album,
Right,
which was going to have so you were going to forge it with the new song,
Yep.
which is
Blissful Death,
Blissful Death.
Yep.
Yeah, gotcha. And
featuring David Simonich of Signs of the Swarms, but he's not here. So
So originally we were going to do like a traditional forge it where you play it before it was released, but like since things got pushed back, obviously we'll give you the pass and but this will be the first time we played it
live.
For people.
Yeah, we haven't played it live yet.
So it still for sure counts. So like, how did you guys want to go into the writing process of this song? Kind of,
Actually earlier you had asked a question about like taking input and feedback. Before we started writing this song, we actually asked like what type of things people would want to hear in the new music, and one of the funny things that we saw like 3 or 4 times was triplet feel. And that was something like none of us expected, and kind of were like, okay, maybe we could do something with that.
Yep.
So, and like, Peter and I both love Lamb of God. And I mean, like all like the triplets and the chugs and stuff like that you find in that. I mean, I'm sure somewhere in that was a huge influence on the feel and the vibe of that song, because it's almost like gallopy the whole time.
It is.
I mean, these triplets and chugs are in it. But I think that the majority of it really came together in studio, and that was one of the first songs where we had kind of an idea of what we wanted to do, but not a full-fledged demo going into the studio.
Yeah.
And I mean, what we came out with was something I love. I was
song is
worried that
baller.
we
I love
were
that song.
going to be too rushed. We were going to end up having some compromised riffs or something, or it was going to take too long to track everything and get that done in our normal time
David
frame.
killed his feature too.
Yeah, when we got that.
I still remember when he sent me the video of it like coming back. I was like, "Good lord!"
Yeah,
I was like, this
Shit
guy
is
is
heavy.
crazy.
That man went the fuck off, dude.
Shout out to
He
Dave.
just having a
David, I love you.
That was
Thank you,
about the
dude.
only time I would say where we were ever like, yeah, we need to write a fact breakdown.
Yeah.
Because we knew that man deserved
We
it.
set it up for him. We set it up for him. We were like, yeah, dude,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
straight
right
up.
here.
That was made specifically for him.
That's sick.
We got you, dog.
That's really cool.
We got you.
And he got us.
Yeah, he got us too.
For sure. Well, thanks for coming in, guys.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Thanks
for
for
real.
having us, man.
Thank you so
Shit
much.
sick,
man.
man.
Thanks,
and
guys, for sure.
all the success, man. So well deserved.
Thank you
Love
so
you
much.
guys.
That means the
Love
world.
that like Atlanta bands are blowing up and getting huge now.
Love you too,
Like,
homie. Thank you for
straight up,
having us, for
sure,
real.
man. Shit sick. So left to suffer, sign off. Whatever you want to do.
Yo,
LTS out.
LTS out. Thank you guys for fucking listening to us.
We appreciate the fuck out of you guys for sure.
Goodbye. We love you.
We love you guys
Till next time.
forever.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Forever.
Hey, can we keep going? I just want to keep talking.